Good morning, children. Welcome to today's section. Children, in our last lecture video, I explained different types of if statement. Okay, and also I explained how the if statements are works. Okay, today let us start our next statements, that is for loop and while loop. Clear? That is loop statements we can start today. Okay, loop means repetition of task. Clear? That is, when a set of statements will repeat again and again, then we can say it as loop. So, the programming language provides various control structures that allow for more complicated execution paths. A loop statement allows us to execute a statement or group of statements multiple times. Okay, then the pseudocode reference. See here, start. First statement. You already know what is pseudocode, that we were already discussed in our Python fundamentals. Not in Python fundamentals, introduction to Python. Okay, pseudocode is the simple algorithm that explains how the programs works. So here start the input number n to print table. So this is a program to print multiplication table. So all the multiplication table will start from 1. So this table will print 1 to 10. So let us define one variable count is equal to 1. Then display n into count. Okay. So here count is equal to 1. Then 1 into, suppose our number is 2. Then 2 into 1. Then add 1 to count. So count will be 2. Then it checks whether the count is equivalent to 10. If the count is equivalent to 10, then it will exit from the loop. Otherwise, it repeats steps from here to here. Clear? That is, if you notice carefully, the statement says executed as D, E, F, G. Okay, this set of statement will execute repeatedly until the count is equivalent to 10. Okay, when the count is equivalent to 10, then the execution will stop and it jumps from this execution, or it is break from this loop and the program will stop. Okay, so this is the pseudocode. So in this program, you can see that these set of statements are executed repeatedly. So we can say that it is a loop because these set of statements are executing again and again or repeatedly. Okay, so we can say that this is a loop statements. Okay. So Python iteration, the loop is also called iteration. The loops are absolutely vital in programming in order to avoid having to write sequences of code again and again. And they come in several forms. That is, to carry out repetition of statements, Python provides two types of loop statements. First one, conditional loop statements, and second one, counting loop statements. Conditional loop statement. Example for conditional loop statement is while, and example for counting loop statement is for. Okay. Then range function. Okay. Before we proceed for loop, let us understand range function, which we will use in for loop to repeat the statement to n number of times. The syntax for this range function is range, lower limit, upper limit. Okay. So when you use a range function, it will generate a set of values from lower limit to upper limit. Okay, whatever the numbers you are giving here, from here to here, okay, that values will be printed or generate. So the syntax for this range function is range 1, 10. Okay, this here we have one example, range 1, 10. So it will generate a set of values from 1 to 9. See, the upper bound value is not included in this set. Okay, but the lower bound value is included. That's why it will generate a set of values from 1 to 9. Here we have another example, range 0, 7. It will generate the values from 0 to 6. Okay, so by looking carefully, you can notice that the values will be incremented by 1. That is, the default step value will be 1. Okay, that is range of 1 comma 10 means it will generate a set of values that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is each value is incremented by 1. That means by using this range function, the default step value is 1. Okay. The next one, you can change the step value. Okay, to change the step value, you can pass a third parameter into the range function. See the example, range 1, 10, 2. Okay, all the values are separated by commas. Okay, range 1, comma 10, comma 2. So here first one is the start value, second one is the stop value, third one is the step value. Okay, so it will generate values 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Clear? So here the first value is 1 and the step value is 2. So the next value is 1 plus 2, 3. Okay, then 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 2, 7. Then 7 plus 2, 9. Okay, now the stop value reached 10. Okay, then step value can be in negative also to generate set of numbers in reverse order. See the example, range 10, comma 0. It will generate number as 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See here, we didn't give any step value, but it will generate a numbers in reverse order. When you give minus 1, see 10, 0, minus 1, okay, that is the right syntax. 10, 0, minus 1, then it will generate a descending order of numbers. See, to create list from 0, we can use range of 10. Okay, when you use only one parameter, then the range function will generate the values always from 0. That is, range of 10 will generate the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so when you specify any values is here, then the range function will generate value from that number. If you didn't specify any start value, then the range function will generate the values from 0. Okay. The next one, operators in and not in. Okay. This operator is used in for loop to check whether the value is present in range or list or not. Okay, just to check whether the number or whether that value is present in for loop or not. See, here we have one example, 5 in list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this one is an example for list. Okay, the numbers, when you put numbers in between square bracket, that one is called list. So here 5 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this condition is satisfied because 5 is present in this list. So it will return true. But in second example here 5 in 1, 2, 3, 4. So here no the value 5. That's why it will return false. See another example. The character A or the letter A in apple. So the letter A is present in apple. That's why it will return true. Then another example. National in international. Okay, so this national. See here we are searching a some string in a string. Okay, so here this national is present in this string. That's why it returned true. Clear, children? So this in and not in is used to check whether the value or the variable or any data is present or not. Okay. Now here we have one program to check whether any word is a part of sentence or not. See here, line is equal to input, enter any statement. So you can enter any statement. Okay, then word is equal to input, enter any word. So you can first enter a sentence. That sentence will be loaded into the variable line. Then the searching word will be loaded into the variable word. Then you can check this word is present in this line or not. Okay, by using if word in line. Okay, if word in line. If the word is present in line, then print yes, word is a part of line. Otherwise print no, word is not part of line. Okay, so by using this if statement, you can check whether the word is present in this sentence or not. Okay, if the condition is satisfied, then to print this statement, otherwise it will print this statement. Clear? Okay, then next we can start our for loop. For loop in Python is used to create a loop to process items of any sequence like list, tuple, dictionary, string. Okay, and is also used to create loop of fixed number of steps like 5 times, 10 times, n times, etc. using range function. Okay, that is by using this for loop, you can also use this range. Okay, to create a fixed number of steps. See here, example for loop with list. See here, school is equal to, here we have one list and the list data are principal, PGT, TGT, PRT. Then this is the for loop syntax for sum in school. For sum is a variable. Okay, it checks whether this variable is present in school or not. Okay, then print the sum. Okay, so this will start, the sum variable will start from principal to PRT. Okay, initially the value of this one is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. Okay, then print the sum means it will print all these values. Clear, children? For sum in school means sum is a variable, initially its value is 0. Okay, for this list, the 0th position's data is principal, first position data is PGT, second position data is TGT, and third position data is PRT. Okay, so it will print the variable sum. So it first print principal, then print PGT, then print TGT, then print PRT. Okay, when it execute or when it process the last data of this list, then it will automatically break from the loop. Here we have another example with tuple. Code is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. For CD in code, okay, that is CD is a variable. It will read from 10 to 60. Okay, each time it will increment by 1. For CD in code, print CD means it will print all the values in tuples. Okay, when it reach at the end of the tuple, then it will automatically break from the loop. Clear, children? Okay, so here we have another example. So let us understand in detail how these loops works. Okay, see here, code is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. For CD in code, print CD. Okay, so when you write a program like this, first it will create a tuple code with these values. Okay, after that the loop starts. Okay, it will pick value one by one from code and assign to CD. So initially the CD is equal to 10. Okay, for CD in code, for when it executed first time, the value of CD is equal to 10. So it will print the value CD. That is, it will print the value 10. So you will get the output as 10. And for next statement, okay, the CD will increment by 1 and the value of CD is equal to 20. Okay, when incremented by 1, the output is 10. Okay, when to print this, when to execute this print statement, then you will get the output 10, 20. Okay, that is like that this loop will repeatedly execute until it execute the last data, that is 60. That is, for loop will automatically ends when last item of list is processed. Clear, children? So our next topic is for loop with string. See the example for ch in plan, where plan is a string. Okay, then the colon. Okay, then print ch. Clear? So the variable ch will start from p to n. Okay, so when you use a code like this, it will generate the output PLAN. Okay, see, each words are or each character is printed in separate lines. Okay, first to execute P and next to execute L, then execute A, then execute N. So now the full string is over. Okay, that's why it exits from the loop. Okay, see another example, a for loop with range function. Okay, this program is to print all the natural numbers from 1 to 100. Okay, this for loop explains with range function. Okay, here this for loop just for ch in plan. Okay, just check whether this variable is present in plan or not, this string or not. Okay, here this one, it checks whether this one is present in this range function. Okay, based on this condition, this loop will execute. So here for I in range 1, 101. Here the last element is 101 because our question is to print from 1 to 100. That means the upper bound will not generate. Okay, then print I comma end is equal to /t. Okay, here we are using one more keyword end. End is equal to /t. Okay, this /t means tab. Okay, so when you use this /t, it will cause output to appear without changing line and give one time space between next output. Okay, so it will give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, etc. up to 100 in single line. See here, here we don't give any more keyword like ch is equal to /t or /n. Okay, that's why it will print each character in separate line. Okay, when you give one /t, then all the output will print in single line. Clear, children? Then next one, program to print table of any number. Okay, so num is equal to enter any number. So you can enter one number, that number will be stored into the variable num. Then for I in range 1, 11. 1, 11 means the multiplication table will generate from 1 to 10. Okay, then print num comma. See here, no single quote or double quote, that's why the value of this num will be print here. Into is given in between single quotes, that's why this into marks will be print here. Then I, then the value of I will print, then equal to in single quotes, that's why this equal to will print, then num into I. Okay, so first do the operation, after that the evaluator result will be printed. Okay, so initially the value of I is equal to 1. Okay, then print, suppose our entered number is 2, then 2 into 1 is equal to 2 into 1, 2. Okay, then on next iteration, the value will be 2. So it will print 2 into 2 is equal to 2 into 2, 4. Okay, then on next iteration, value of I is equal to 3. So it will print 2 into 3 is equal to 6. Like that, this loop will execute till it reaches the upper bound, that is 11. Okay, when it reaches upper bound 11, then it will exit from the loop. Clear? So one more example, program to find the sum of all number divisible by 7 between 1 to 100. Okay, just check the divisibility by 7. So first we set the value of sum is equal to 0. Okay, because our program to find sum of all numbers divisible by 7. So here first we need to check whether the number is divisible by 7 or not. So we can set one for loop for I in range 1, 101. Okay, then each iteration it will check whether the value is divisible by 7. If the value is divisible by 7, then the remainder will be 0. That is, it checks if I mod 7 is equivalent to 0. Okay, if this condition is satisfied means that value is divisible by 7. So you can add sum plus equal to 1. Here plus equal to is an assignment operator. Okay, sum plus equal to I means sum is equal to sum plus I. Okay, so which value is divisible by 11, divisible by 7, that value will add with sum. So initially 7 will be add. Okay, next time when it reaches 14, 7 plus 14 will execute. Like that, this loop will execute till it reaches 101. After that, it print total of number divisible by 7 between 1 to 100 is sum. Okay, after that it will print the sum. Clear, children? The next loop is while loop. While loop is a conditional loop. Okay, which repeat the instruction as long as condition remains true. It is entry control loop. That is, it first check the condition and if it is true, then it allows to enter in loop. While loop contains various loop elements, that is initialization, test condition, body of loop and update statement. Okay, children. So while loop is an entry control loop. Okay, so you can expect multiple choice question from this section. We give one example for entry control loop. Then you can write down while loop. Okay, entry control means it will enter into the loop only after the condition is true. That means it first check the condition. If the condition is satisfied or if the condition is true, then only it can enter into the loop. Okay, so the elements, first one, initialization. Okay, it is used to give starting value in a loop variable from where to start the loop. Okay. Next one is test condition. It is the condition or last value up to which loop will be executed. Next one is body of loop. It is specify the action or statement to repeat in the loop. Next one is update statement. Okay, it is the increase or decrease in loop variable to reach the test condition. Okay, these are the 4 while loop elements. First one, initialization. Second one, test condition. Third one, body of loop. And fourth one, update statement. Okay, so let us look one example. So here I is equal to 1. So this one is initialization. Here we initialize the variable I as 1. Then test condition. So it check while I less than or equal to 10. Okay, so when this condition is satisfied, then only it will execute the remaining expressions. Okay, so this one is the body of the loop. Okay, then see this one is the updated data. So body of loop is print I. Okay, so initially I is equal to 1, so it print 1. Then I is equal to I plus 1. That is last one. Okay, update statement. Okay, value statement, last one is update statement. So we update the data or update the value of I by 1. That is I is increment by 1. Then again check is I less than or equal to 10. Now the value of I is equal to 2. So print 2. Then again increment I plus equal to 1. So I becomes 3. Then 3 less than or equal to 10. Condition satisfied. So it print 3. Then I becomes 4. 4 less than equal to 10. Condition satisfied. So again print 4. Next term I become 5. Then I less than equal to 10. Condition satisfied. Like that this loop will execute till it reaches 11. Okay. Less than equal to 10 condition also satisfied. Then print 10. After that I will become 11. Okay, then it again checks if 11 is less than equal to 10. Then the condition failed, then exit from the loop. Okay, children. So now I believe you all understood how these For loop and while loops are working. Both are very important loops. Okay, by using this only you can create good programs. Okay, so please study all the loop statements well from your home. Okay, so many programs in your textbook. Please go through the textbook and write your own programs by using this for loop and while loop. Okay, children, then see you again with another topic. Till then, bye. Thank you.